Flip-flop Karen. Yesterday, Sunday, I went to visit my son, daughter-in-law, and grandson to deliver some food my wife made. Lasagna, baby. When my wife makes lasagna, everybody gets some. The aisle is in bed as she had hurt her back on Friday and it was still giving her issues. Then they're done that. It sucks. I'm playing with my grandson and my son mentions he is going to take him to the grocery store to pick up a few things so the aisle doesn't have to worry about going. Grandson is cutting molars and not in a very good mood. I offer to go with him to the store to expedite the process as it is on my way home. We take separate cars and meet up, start shopping, and are knocking it out, me grabbing things and my son entertaining little Mr. Cranky Pants. We stopped in the pet food supplies aisle as he needed kitty litter. I grab it and leave, heading over to the dairy aisle. One more thing to get and we are out of there. This pet food aisle is set up as dog food supplies on one end, cooler with fresh pet food, bird food, hamster food, etc. Then cat food supplies on the opposite end. While leaving the aisle I did hear someone yelling hey, but paid it no mind. While walking to the dairy aisle I heard a faint slap, 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 slap. That is the unmistakable sound of flip-flop. We live in Florida and flip-flops are a way of life. Hell, when it gets cold there are some who wear them with socks low. Walking in the dairy aisle still hearing the slap, 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 slap. Grab the butter, and as we are turning the corner to head to the register, slap, 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 slap. Hey, stop running from me. I've been chasing you for 10 minutes. I need help. Where is insert some random dog food? She was visibly out of breath. We both turn around and right away she starts in about chasing us down, blah, blah, blah. But you could tell she was confused as we are not dressed anywhere close to what employees wear as they wear green uniforms. She kept staring at our shirts. Me with a Steppenwolf t-shirt complete with a large wolf head and my son with a Donkey Kong t-shirt. Not ready to admit defeat yet, she tried to say something else and... At this moment my grandson sticks his arms straight out and starts waving his hands around saying no. Up, we both lost it and started laughing so hard we were in tears. Just said don't work here, turned around and continued to the registers without incident. She stood there mouth gaping. She ran down to the other end of the pet aisle, past 3 other aisles and ran down the entire length of the dairy aisle in her flip-flops to chase down to men and a baby to ask about some random dog food. Slap, 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 slap. Edit, thank you very much for the award. Edit, thank you all for the awards.
Am I allowed to do that? This happened a few years ago. Before my mom passed away of cancer, she was a frequent flyer in the hospital. The hospital was only a few minutes from my work, so I would frequently leave work and go straight to the hospital to visit with her. I work in a pharmacy, so I wear scrubs. One day, I check in at the security desk, get my visitor sticker, and head up to visit with my mom. My mom was struggling with eating due to her cancer, and the nurses would allow us to bring her outside food to try and get her to eat. I went up and was asked by Mom to get her some food from a nearby restaurant. I head back down, and on my way to the car, an old woman calls out to me from the handicap parking. She needs to get to the ER but can't walk at the moment. Me being not a bitch, say sure, let me find someone to help and run back inside to the security guard. You can't get into the ER without being buzzed in. Inform the security guard, who only about 10 minutes before checked me in as a guest, that there is a woman in the parking lot who needs assistance getting inside the ER. The guard rolls her eyes and gestures at a wheelchair nearby and says, okay, just use that. That's why they're there. Confused, I kind of stare at the chair and then go, am I allowed to do that? I don't work. The security guard huffs and says, I don't care what unit you work on. You can do it. Just take the wheelchair and help the patient. Well, I mean, I don't work here, at the hospital. I'm a visitor here. I point at the sticker on my chest. The security guard figured it out finally and called for assistance, and I headed back out. I got my mom's food and came back, only to hear the security guard complaining to another guard that people shouldn't wear scrubs to the hospital if they aren't staff. I went to the desk and gave her a look and told her that my mom is upstairs, dying of cancer, but sure, I'm sorry that my visiting her after work instead of going home, changing first, was a mild inconvenience for her. Mom was in the hospital for another 2 weeks before being moved to hospice, so I saw that bitch a lot, and she never apologized and wouldn't say a word when I'd check in. Considered reporting her, but I had enough on my plate without adding any more stress to my life or risking my ability to visit Mom.
You're really just going to stand there. I'm from South Louisiana, and we have a different way of interacting with people that differs even from other southern states. I'm sure people know about southern hospitality, but South Louisiana cranks this up to 11. Ask anyone who has ever been there. We don't care about race, religion, social or economic status. If you're human, you are owed to be treated with kindness and empathy until you prove otherwise. I left Baton Rouge and moved to Katy, Texas, for a teaching gig. It was a Sunday, and I had to run to the Texas' only big grocery chain to get a few things. Sunday was a big shopping day, and the place was packed with long lines waiting to check out. I walked to the closest line with my few groceries in my arms. This was before the prominence of self-checkout. So no matter how much or how little you bought, there was going to be a wait. It's just how things were, no biggie. The lady in front of me had to be in her 80s and not more than 95 pounds. Her buggy was absolutely filled to the top. The people in front of her were almost done checking out when I saw her struggling to pick up a bag of frozen chicken to place on the conveyor. She struggled again with another item, and another, and another. The cashier started ringing her up and simply stared at her with impatience while this poor old woman struggled with removing items from her buggy. I was like, WDF. I looked around and everyone was sighing with annoyance and impatience. The bagger, the cashier, the people behind me. Seriously? I placed my items down on a nearby drink refrigerator and asked the lady if she needed any help. With a brightness and joy in her eyes, she answered, please. I unloaded her buggy onto the conveyor and placed the bagged groceries back in as the bagger handed them to me. I was finished in no time. Smiled at the lady, picked my items back up, and got back in line behind her. She paused for a moment. Evidently, she had been so flustered with trying to place her groceries on the conveyor she had never noticed me behind her. Wait, you don't work here? No, ma'am, just thought you might appreciate a little help. She then gave me the biggest hug, and with tears in her eyes, she said, thank you so much. I smiled again and told her, you're welcome. I followed her out to her vehicle and helped her load everything. She thanked me again and told me she dreaded going to the grocery store because it was so difficult for her, and people were always getting frustrated with her when it came to checking out. I shook my head. That is sad. I'm sorry about that. Back home, stuff like that doesn't happen. If someone needs help, we help. She started to tear up again, hugged me and thanked me. I told her to have a nice day and headed back to my truck.
Man refuses to believe I am the office lady and insists I don't work here. It's funny, because I am exactly the kind of person who is always mistaken for an employee. I guess I have that walk or whatever it is that people cue off of. I'm an office manager at a church and an atheist, because life is funny, and was sitting at my desk doing my thing when a guy from our pest control company comes in. Hi, I'm Freddie with Pest Control Company. I usually talk with, I can't remember her name, the older woman who works in this office. Hi, Freddie. I'm Jan Fusball, the office manager. You probably spoke with me, actually. No, it was a few months ago. The office lady was much older. She let me into the kitchen. Well, I can let you into the kitchen. That's no problem. Here's my card. Hands him my office manager this card. Gosh, I just can't seem to remember her name. She works here in the office. Well, I work here in the office, so you'll be stuck with me from now on. Fake Midwestern laugh. I always deal with the office lady. Will she be in today? I'm in charge of the office, so I can take care of whatever. No, I need to talk to the office lady, the one who works here. He points at my desk. There's no other office lady. The only other woman who works here is the minister. But I always talk to the office lady, the older woman. Just leave your paperwork here. I'll make sure it gets to the right place. I'm supposed to leave it with staff. They pay me. I'm staff. Oh, they pay volunteers. Me, they. I'll make sure the paperwork gets to the right place. Him. Is she your mom or something? Is that why you're helping out? Guys, I swear it was me. I've been here 4 years. It's my office. I'm the only one who works here. I'm the one who deals with vendors. I am the older woman he talked to. But by the end of this, he honestly had me doubting it. Eventually, he gave up and agreed to give me the paperwork to give to her when she comes in and went to spray for bugs. I guess I'm officially an old woman but can pass as a younger version of myself with my mask on.
Did you recognize all of the voices? Leave your guesses in the comments.